Going on, football fans? Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you are in. I am Bill Corpus Crispy, and welcome to the Week 12 edition of Thursday Night Gridiron. I am joined by my esteemed panelist, Mark Olasky Halpern, and the Vice President of the network, Danny Boy Reginald. It's how you guys doing tonight?
Here. Let's put it that way. Let's call it what it is. We're here.
We're in one piece.
Yes.
We are in one piece. So anyway, we got a great matchup to talk to you tonight. We got the Bills and the Texans here in Week 12. Can we all just take a moment and realize, holy shit, it's Week 12 already?
It flies fast, but just remember, still got another 9 games plus playoffs, so it ain't ending anytime soon.
Oh, we still basically got another 3 months. But anyway, so what can okay, so tonight, before we get to the game, we got, as you can know, this week from the Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix was injured this week.
Penix is now lost for the season. Kirk Cousins obviously will move into that starting role, in which he will fail miserably, as I have always hated Kirk Cousins from the start.
Well, he wasn't always bad, but yeah, he hasn't been great over the past few years. Um, his best seasons by far were with Minnesota. And after he left Minnesota and that system with O'Connell, he was a completely different quarterback. I think part of it was the money and also the fact that I think his confidence got shot when Penix was drafted. So, you
Still
know,
the biggest, yeah, that's still the biggest crackerjack prize treat to an NFL draft ever.
yeah.
Yes.
But he gets his chance again. Penix with an ACL injury. We obviously don't want to see that. It's tough for a young guy. Probably won't see him for a while. But, you know, some look, any way to get him healthy, because he's there for the long term. Um,
Yep.
and look, the Falcons should be counting their blessings that they still had Kirk Cousins on the roster because we all know he's probably not going to be great, but he is a professional quarterback. He knows how to run an NFL offense. And it, look, blessing in disguise, right? You know, again, messy situation in Atlanta, but look, this is why you have someone like a Kirk Cousins on your roster. You're paying him a boatload of money, utilize him. Absolutely.
Dan hit the nail right on the head with that is, yes, the league was thrown for a loop when Penix was drafted. We saw Penix play. We've seen Penix move. He's fine. But it made no sense for an Atlanta standpoint because you're taking a veteran quarterback and you cut him in half. I've never liked Kirk Cousins. How do you like that? But that's how it is. Kirk Cousins, though, Dan is correct. His best years were in Minnesota.
His best years are behind him and he sucks in Atlanta.
Yep.
So
Let's see. I mean, you never know. Maybe he gets a resurgence. I mean, look, the Falcon season isn't over technically, mathematically.
Mathematically, no.
You know, you never know. Some one NFC team can go on a massive losing streak.
It can happen. I mean,
It is football. It's a long season. I don't expect much of anything, though. No.
the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at 3-7, and here's where you have to put that perspective. They're 1 game ahead the New Orleans Saints. They're 3 games behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and, let's hear it, the Carolina Panthers. That's how bad this team is.
okay, can we just take a moment to let this sink in? The Carolina Panthers have a better record than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
The
And
Carolina Panthers have been and Dan and I, we talked about this last week. The Carolina Panthers have been Not a surprise. They've been building this team. Mind you, yes, Bryce Young, we're starting to finally see that college quarterback come to life a little bit in this late part of the season, but it's a good change for Carolina.
Yeah, look, it took what, a coaching change and a culture change, right?
Mhm.
Coaching, culture. Mark, we hit it all the time with teams that are trying to go on the up. Well, Carolina has hit the culture right. They haven't really hit the, they're very inconsistent. They haven't really hit that streak where they're very consistently playing as well. But
That is true.
they're playing well enough to actually be near a playoff spot. They're not there yet, but
They're a half game out of the NFC South head
yeah,
lead of behind the Bucks, and the Bucks are also a big surprise, being at 6-4.
yeah. So I'm very impressed with this Carolina
Yeah.
team. Again, I don't know if it'll happen with them this year. By next year, if this continues to trend, they got some defensive players locked up that are just simply out of this world. And then, of course, this Bryce Young kid, I've always known that he was going to be fine. He just needed the right coach. And I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
they found the right guy to do
And
it.
that's what made the big change. Plus the addition of Ted McMillan this year. You're giving him pieces. You've gotten him good blocking. Now they just need to wrap it together.
Yes.
But Carolina is going to be a team to be messed with over the next few years.
Yeah, with Dave Canales and listen, I've always said David Tepper's a terrible owner, but hey, I think this team can actually be
Yeah. And
good
and
down the road.
and I don't think that part changes with Tepper, but sometimes you just need to make the right decision. And he can be incompetent everywhere else, like Jerry Jones. But, you know, as long as you hit the right, make the right decisions, that's all that matters.
Oh, absolutely. Now moving now, okay, now let's talk about tonight's game, shall we? Buffalo and
Michelle,
Houston. A recap of last week. First of all, we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills. I'm sure Nate Moser was happy with last week's game. The Bills beat the Bucks 44 to 32 with Josh Allen 19 out of 30, 317 yards, three passing touchdowns, three rushing touchdowns, and for anyone who could do basic math, yes, that is six touchdowns. Um, but we got to talk about there's a bit of a bad apple going on in Buffalo right now, and that is
besides
Keon
the weather,
Coleman.
That's how you see it, but sure, go ahead.
yeah.
Keon Coleman, who was scratched last week for a disciplinary problem, and he's scratched tonight for another discipline issue. So is this going to affect Buffalo?
Yeah. Well, what was
I
it? He missed a team meeting or something? Like,
I think
Right.
so,
If
yeah.
you want to compare differences in teams right now, Buffalo suspends their one of their top receivers. CD Lamb and George Pickens both missed curfew. They were sacked for the first drive, for the first possession. That's to show you cultures where you're dealing with a player who makes $30 million a year and a player who makes jack. So you can't afford to really piss off Keon Coleman, but you already have.
and
Yes.
well, it also help. It also doesn't help that Gabe Davis is back on the team and Josh Allen is utilizing him. So, of course, McDermott sees that and is like, okay, well, I'm going to use the hot hand. I'm going to go with Allen and I'm going to trust him that
Yeah,
he's going to utilize the receivers we had on Sunday. Um, and look, in a short week, like it's a no brainer. Yeah, I think Coleman will be fine. I look, as long as he cleans up his act a little bit, and look, McDermott already went out to the media, said he handled it like a pro and everything.
yeah.
It's no love lost or anything. But look, If you're not a good locker room guy, you're gonna McDermott's not the one to take shit, you know?
That's the best way to say it. That's the best way to say it.
And again, excuse my language because I know this
Yeah.
is kind of a family show, kind of not. But
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
yeah.
But okay, but what is a bigger issue for Buffalo right now? That you have no number one receiver or their defense? Because if you look, only there has only been one game where where the where the Bills have given up less than 10 points. And that was the Carolina game when they won 40-9. So what's the bigger issue here?
The
What's
bigger
the bigger
issue,
issue here? The
if
defense?
you're when you have the Houston Texans minus CJ Stroud, the game is different. The game is a lot different. You can coach it, you can call it much easier, especially now. I believe it's Davis Mills tonight again. Josh Allen is going to go into this game and he's going to play it just like last week.
Yes.
Going to take advantage of a weak run defense, even though people think they're okay. But you're going to see him not throw the ball as much as Derek Stingley Jr. is slowly proving why he is one of the best in the NFL right now.
Yes. So, so Reg, what do you think? What's worse, the defense or the no number one string? What's worse for Buffalo?
I think, they go hand in hand, kind of, if Josh Allen doesn't have his number one receiver, he's going to rely on a bunch of twos and threes, and then he has to make plays all by himself. You realize that he had 6 touchdowns on Sunday against Tampa Bay, and 3 of them were rushing touchdowns. So once again, we are seeing Josh Allen out of necessity having to take care of stuff on his own. So that's not good. We can't have Josh Allen, as great of an athlete as he's been, and he's improved year after year on his throwing ability, and of course he's always been a great out of the pocket guy. But the fact of the matter is, we can't have Josh Allen go rogue. That's where it becomes the problem. When he starts going rogue and he starts turning the ball over, or he plays poorly and the opposing defense figures him out, that's where you're going to start to see a lot of issues. So that's bad. The defense, you can live with the defense being bad as long as the offense is scoring. That's if the offense is scoring. So it goes hand in hand.
So it goes hand in hand. So now it could be like you said with the with Josh Allen, if he starts making mistakes, going rogue and fumble and losing the ball, then yeah, that's an issue. And that's why
Of
when
course,
you
it would
don't
be.
number one receiver. And the defense is when you're giving up so many points, when you're giving up so many points, it's that is a problem too. So I think both of them are issues. But I think right now Josh Allen needs to remain in control.
Josh Allen is one of the few quarterbacks in the league. I would be very comfortable saying you call the entire game out from the huddle yourself. There are very few quarterbacks in today's NFL where I'd be comfortable in saying that. Allen is one of the few. I could honestly say you could go in with a plan and he could call each and every play with what you needed. He understands
Yes.
the game.
Yes. But yeah, so I think yeah, but no, I think the number one receiver is a bigger issue because that's going to force him to go rogue. All right, even though he did have 3 rushing touchdowns last year. Okay, and now here's a question that all Bill fans want to know, and especially our good friends Nate Moser and Adam Reeder. Is this the year they get over the hump?
Here's the problem.
Oh, the problem. Let's hear it.
I think Buffalo is in the AFC Championship game. I think there's no
Oh,
question about it. As long as one thing happens, this team gets healthy and it gets
yeah.
healthy fast.
Okay.
That is the way the Buffalo Bills are in the AFC Championship game. They're not in the Super Bowl as much as we know certain people would love to see that. I think you're gonna have to go up against you're gonna go up against Baltimore again, who's gonna go on a run. We're gonna see the emergence of somebody possibly coming back this weekend. Could we see another team go on a run?
You look at Denver
This
right now.
and we're only halfway through the season. A lot to play. However,
Reggie,
we can just hand Jonathan Taylor the MVP in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Reggie,
Um,
are you ready to crush Nate Moser's dreams yet? Are they ready to get over the hump?
no, they're 7-3. The problem is you have teams like the Colts who are emerging as a top big time contender. You have the Patriots under Mike Vrabel who have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um, now experience is on Buffalo's side. I will say that. So if anything, they could use that experience. Doesn't matter how many people, were on the Buffalo team last few years, but you have McDermott who knows what to expect in the playoffs. You have Josh Allen, he knows what to expect. It's just a matter of, them making plays when it matters the most. So I'm gonna say no because I think there are teams out there that are just better. But experience is on their side. So if they do, it's because of that, not necessarily because of their play.
I don't
Yes.
think they have the receivers to
Yeah.
go up against any of these other AFC playoff teams. Mind you, again, there's still another half of the season for players to get healthy. But if you look at this Buffalo team, you don't see a Jamar Chase, you don't see a George Kittle, you don't see a CD Lamb. You got James Cook, who's been very efficient this season, great year. Allen just has to do what Allen does best and manage this game and just keep Buffalo in control. Not easy thing to do, though.
Yes. No, absolutely. Is keep them in control. And like you said, there's a whole nother half of the season left. Could this be the year they get over the hump? I actually don't see it. It could happen because you got to look
And I
at.
can walk outside and a treasury plane could explode and $100 bills rain on me for an hour.
That sounds like a hell of a night. um,
Opening the cliffhanger.
but anyway, but Dan, what you said with Mike Vrabel in New England, but New England's been beating up on mediocre teams.
But that
You
doesn't
can't
mean that they're
dismiss that.
that doesn't mean that they're bad. They've been on good teams too. Yes, for the most part, the crappy teams. And look, I think the Patriots are a beneficiary of a very, very easy schedule. But that does not mean that they have not been up on good teams. Simply not true. They've gotten some good wins. Um, so don't I'm not gonna brush it off. Basically,
Yeah, yes, you look at the when you look at the New England Patriots, we're not being led by Tom Brady anymore. But to call out what Dan just said, they've gone up against some tough defenses. They've taken out Cleveland. They've already beaten the Bills 23-20. This has already been happened. This is Buffalo's one chance to come back and say to New England, we're still here. If Buffalo does not win this game by a landslide tonight,
Mhm.
they're gonna fall off and fall off faster than most fans want to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough. I
This
mean,
is a must-win game for Buffalo.
they won't fall out of the playoffs, but I don't know. Look,
You're one game behind New England. That's one game too much right now.
yeah.
That is one game too much.
And it's their fault. Look, they had that Falcon game that was atrocious. You know, they,
Mind you, yes, they play the Jets and the Dolphins,
yeah,
you know,
Dolphin
a
game
total
was
of four
terrible too.
times. Right. I'm just saying they played them. They play them four times. Now, mind you, the Jets aren't going to make much of anything. No offense, Dan,
No, no.
but still, they have proven that this is a well defensively played team, and the offense is just getting it done when it needs to.
Yeah. So we don't know if the Bills are going to get over the hump. It could happen, but we know if it's going to happen. Nate Moser and Adam Reed are going to be partying for 6 months.
We'll never hear the end of it.
No, well, hey, what's it going to be like to you, Mark, when the Cowboys win another Super Bowl?
May I be alive for it to happen. I've been waiting 30 years.
Reg, what's it going to be like for you when the Jets finally win a Super Bowl?
I just want to make the playoffs. I'll worry about Super Bowls later.
You know,
Exactly.
my
Um,
girlfriend's
I don't
father,
know.
who's a Jet fan, has straight up told me I will not be alive when the Jets win another Super Bowl.
The planet won't be alive.
Yeah, it won't. It'll be in my lifetime. I just don't know how old I'll be. You know.
But anyway, so okay, now let's switch over to Houston and Buffalo. I mean Houston and Houston. Sorry. Um, okay. So last week, the Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans 16-13.
Just edged it out. Edged it out.
They etched it out against
Ridiculous.
a team in the NFL. Like, come on, this is nothing to be proud of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Davis Mills went 274 yards, one touchdown, but was sacked 4 times. And a touchdown from Nico Collins, who went 9 receptions and 92 yards. Okay, now update on CJ Stroud. He's still injured and will not be playing tonight.
Yeah, that was expected.
Right. With the concussion protocol, he did not clear on Thursday, so they had already pretty much scratched him.
Yeah, and then of course it's a short week. Like you're not gonna
Yeah.
put someone with a concussion. Doesn't matter how long it's been. Like you're not if he's still on concussion protocol on
Right.
Sunday. No, you're not gonna rush it. Like
Right.
it's almost dangerous to do that.
No, that is very dangerous. Like Jackson Dart, who's been in concussion protocol too.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Are the Texans missing Joe Mixon right now?
The Texans are in an interesting position. They did the right thing by getting Nick Chubb because
Yes.
Mixon was a question mark going into this season with the leg injury. It's been multiple different parts of his leg, so I don't want to commit to just one. Nick Chubb and Woody Marks have done a very nice job down in Houston. They are not making up for what Joe Mixon is, though. Joe Mixon is one of the rare rushers who can ground and pound you. And he doesn't care if he gets hit once, twice. He can run like Derrick Henry, but is built like a stick figure. Houston misses his game very much so. I think Chubb and Marks have done a good job up till now, but it's not going to carry them into the playoffs.
It will not.
Yeah, yeah, it sucks. We kind of knew this with Mixon. That he didn't attend the OTAs, didn't do training camp. He was placed on the non-football list at the end of training camp and all that stuff. So he obviously has been out. You're not gonna put him in now. I know. I think some people within Mixon's camp hasn't been too happy about that, but it's the right move to make. You want to make sure that he's ready to go 100%. Um, yeah, no, look, do they miss him? Yeah, I mean, he's an explosive back. I mean, how can you not? I think the Texans have done the best they could with what they have, but you don't have your RB1. Like it makes a big difference. It's made a difference in Stroud's game,
Mm-hmm.
and he's lost some receivers too that he trusted. So it hasn't been an easy year for him, you know. And look, but despite all that, I want to give credit to my long lost family member, Mr. D'Amico Ryans. You know,
Listen to me go.
and I just want to give him credit for having the team ready, despite the fact that they are massively, um, going through a lot of changes. And they have him ready to go. Again, the record may not necessarily show that, but that again, credit where credit is due. They have won some games that are not gimmies, and they've put themselves in a position where, like I said, if one team falters, they can jump back in. It's probably not going to happen this season. I don't think Davis Mills is good enough, but you know, until you get CJ Stroud, that's where I'm at. It's iffy. It's, you know, tough
That's where
time.
you're at.
Yeah.
So, like, nah. Yeah, without your running back one, you need, yeah, you have Chubb, but you need that extra oomph, if you know what I mean. So that is the problem with the Houston run game right now. And here's a big question. Guys, do you think they're going to catch the Colts?
No,
No, good
no,
talk.
no. You're asking a question about a 5-5 team going up against arguably the most puzzling offense in all of NFL history, how they became so good. But no, they're not catching the Colts.
Reg,
What was that? I'm sorry, Bill.
do you think the Texans are going to catch the Colts?
No, no. Colt.
Get out of here.
I mean, it's going to take a massive collapse. I don't think the Colts are going to do that. Carly Ursay is up on their asses. Do you honestly think Shane Steichen, is going to absolutely fumble his chance at a playoff, knowing the owner is constantly up on his ass? Like, no.
Yep. It's like having another Jerry Jones there.
Like, I'm sorry. No, the Colts are gonna be fine.
Because
They
this was a team, because don't forget, at the beginning of the season, Daniel Jones will be our starting quarterback. We're like, okay, Shade, buddy, you better
Look, I've
start getting
eaten
your
my
resume
humble
ready.
pie on that. I've eaten my humble pie on
we
that.
all have.
I have to.
Look,
He's giving
Daniel
me the
Jones
itis,
has
Mark.
done the what?
He's giving me the itis.
Get you one of
Tired
the
of it.
Jewish remedies. You'll be fine. No, when dealing with something like this, it's just hard. It really is.
No, but no, I don't see the Colts collapsing because remember, again, beginning of the year, Shane, Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback. You might as well go get your resume ready.
Yeah, but look, credit to the Colts organization. Look, um, again, I'm gonna emphasize it. The fact that the owner is on the sidelines. Don't
Yeah.
do not uh discount that. That has put fire up into their legs and has drifted them up. They have been off and running ever since. So, people can be like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It's because we have good coaching. No, like the owner is being on the sideline. She's going to see everything. So it's been that. And obviously, look, Daniel Jones has taken his game to the next level. And that's a credit to him too, that he didn't allow the Giants to mess up his career and all that stuff. And like, and then of course the fact that Jonathan Taylor, healthy Jonathan Taylor, has
Yeah.
been around all season and exploding. This is 20
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor that we have been waiting for to get back to.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I don't think Houston's catching.
Indianapolis.
I don't think Houston is catching Indianapolis. I don't think so.
And that's okay. Look, it's about realizing that. And if you really want to make a run at it, which I don't think they will, it's gonna have to be as a last team in.
Pretty much that's what it would have to be, as obviously Houston's facing off against the Bills tonight. Next week, they will be going to see the Colts. So 2 losses back to back here. That's it. You can physically, mathematically, mentally, whatever you want to do, rule out Houston. 2 losses tonight and next week. That'll be it.
And,
Yes.
and quite frankly, if we still don't see Stroud, what are we doing? Keep Mills in
Exactly.
there. Like, what are we doing?
Stroud is, it's unfortunate
Yeah.
because he was having such a great season.
Yes, he
He's
was.
still gonna come back. He's still gonna play. But the question is, will he be as dominant as he was before he went out? Because now teams are
Yes.
going to be jockeying for those 6 positions.
Um, um, yeah, yes, because they're gonna, yeah. So anyway, so that is our deep dives onto the teams. So now, guys, what is your X factor for tonight?
No
Give me
turn.
James Cook.
Yes.
Sorry. Give me James Cook for tonight to really be the workhorse for Buffalo. I think James Cook, if the running game is fine, Buffalo wins this game easily.
I think for Buffalo, it's Josh Allen taking care of the football. He did a very good job at that Sunday. I hope it continues tonight.
I think it's going to be how we said one of the struggles is the defense. I think it's going to be the rush defense because because the Texans have no Joe Mixon tonight. So they're not going to have that much of a strong run game. So I think the Bills' rush game is really going to have to hold it or contain it.
The Bills won't have a problem with the Houston rush game. They're not going to have a problem with Davis Mills. I think they're going to route this game very easily tonight.
Now, what's Houston's X factor?
I really hate to be the guy who's going to do this. Do they have one?
Davis
If anything,
Mills,
it's Nico Collins. That's about it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
either Davis Mills or Nico
I'm gonna
Collins.
be like Mills. Like, he's the guy, you know, if we're all serious about him, you know.
I mean, he's the one starting, so everything is on him. He knows his career is hanging by a string right now. So, but he's getting paid to be out there at 5-5.
Mhm.
What is your prediction for tonight?
Buffalo in a landslide. I hate to even say that because I know Nate Moser is just happy as hell. He's hearing his favorite Cowboys fan say Buffalo is going to rout Houston.
Yeah, give me the Bills. Um, be two touchdowns.
At least.
I'm going to say 31-10 Buffalo. All right, so that is it for tonight. If you want to know more, if you want more, go to www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Check out our blogs, check out our history, check out our podcast available on all platforms. As always, big thanks to the Dugout of Millwood for sponsoring all our content. And don't forget to check us out to Danny Boy and I tomorrow for the Mothership Pod Sports Insanity Podcast. And don't forget to check
And what
out.
time is it airing, Bill? How do they know what time to come in to come view you?
Well, we don't know yet. We're thinking sometime between what, 10 and noon, probably.
Uh, I would say look out starting at 9 a.m., which we will probably won't do, to like 1 o'clock. Like look at that window.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so we're between sometime between 9 and 1.
Yeah, this very YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please hit that button for notification. Like this video if you like our content and all of our videos, and continue to follow the network socials, sportssettingnetwork.com, and look out for more content. We got plenty of it. So
We'll be
Yes,
back
we
to you
do.
live on Sunday morning with Sunday Sideline Report. So that will be coming to you Sunday morning with Mike, Dan, and myself.
But from all of us here at the Sports Insanity Network, stay safe, take care.
yeah, we love you. Bye.